Emotional scenes as Kevin makes a heartfelt plea to Debbie in Coronation Street. Coronation Street delivers emotional scenes this week as Kevin Webster reaches out to his sister Debbie in a touching attempt to mend their fractured relationship, unaware that darker forces are at play behind the scenes. The episode unfolds against a backdrop of manipulation, as Kevin, Carl, and James all become entangled in a web of deceit. And Debbie's worsening dementia leaves her increasingly vulnerable. Kevin caught in the middle of a dodgy row. The drama begins when Dee Dee Bailey calls Ollie with long-awaited good news: the legal case against him has been dropped. Ollie, still shaken from the ordeal, explains that the situation stemmed from a car accident, which exposed that the vehicle in question had a dodgy MOT. Unfortunately, the conversation doesn't stay private for long. Kevin Webster overhears and, never one to hold his tongue, jumps straight in, pointing the finger squarely at Carl. He accuses him of being the expert in dodgy MOTs, implying Carl's shady practices were to blame. The accusation immediately sparks fury. As the two men square up in the Rovers, voices are raised, and tempers flare. It's Eva who ultimately steps in, forcing Kevin to leave the pub before things spiral completely out of control. But Carl isn't one to let things go, and before long, he's storming across the cobbles to confront Kevin at the garage, demanding to know why he was humiliated in front of everyone. Carl's manipulation deepens. Tensions between Kevin and Carl have been simmering for weeks, but this latest showdown takes things to a dangerous new level. Later that day, James, who has been struggling with his own complicated feelings toward Carl, finds himself outside after being thrown out of the pub by Ben. Trying to reach out, James assures Carl that despite everything that's happened, he still cares about him. It's an unexpectedly tender moment, but it's quickly shattered when Debbie suddenly appears, catching the two men mid-conversation. Both freeze, startled and unsure how much she's heard. Debbie's confusion and Kevin's heartfelt plea. Meanwhile, Kevin's guilt begins to eat away at him. His argument with Carl and his ongoing resentment have kept him away from Debbie for too long. And seeing her confusion only reminds him how little time they might have left to make things right. In an emotional moment, Kevin finally breaks down and tells Debbie he misses her. He admits that life hasn't been the same since they drifted apart, and he'd like to put their differences behind them. For a moment, the walls between them fall away. Debbie is genuinely touched by her brother's words. She's pleased, maybe even relieved, that after all the chaos, they might finally be able to reconnect. Carl twists the knife. But any chance of peace doesn't last long. Sensing an opportunity, Carl steps in and slyly suggests to Kevin that they, too, should bury the hatchet, for Debbie's sake. Kevin, torn between his protective instincts and his desire to support his sister, is left conflicted. Carl plays the part of the peacemaker, claiming he's only thinking of Debbie's well-being, but underneath his calm tone lies manipulation. He implies that Debbie's dementia is getting worse, using her condition as leverage to guilt Kevin into letting go of his suspicions.
Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more movie spoilers next week. Goodbye and see you again.